Alright, I am going to show you guys how to make an X-base cuff. This is the most simple and basic version of it, but once you can make this, you can pretty much make whatever you want. Almost every cuff you've ever seen is based off of this. Alright, so it starts off like a single. You're going to do 2 filler beads and a connector bead. 2 filler beads and a connector bead. Continue on like this, doing it in threes until you get the length that you need. Once you've done that, pull it tight and tie a knot, and I'll show you the next step. Alright, here's where I tied the knot. Then I came out through the connector bead. I put on a filler bead, connector bead, then a filler bead, and I went back into the connector bead. Continue this all the way around, and I'll show you the next step. So when you've made it all the way around, you're going to thread into that connector bead where you did the first triangle, go through the filler bead, and out through the connector bead. And then you're going to repeat the same process. Filler bead, connector bead, filler bead, and then thread it into the next connector bead on the next triangle. Go all the way around, and I'll show you the next step. Alright, so when you've made your way around, you're going to thread into the connector bead. That's the top of the first triangle you did. Come up through the filler bead, out the connector bead. And then this time you're just going to do 2 filler beads and go into the connector bead of the next triangle. Again, work all the way around, and I'll show you the next step. Alright, now once you've come all the way around, you're going to thread in and out of the connector bead, and then you're going to do 2 filler beads, 1 connector bead, 2 filler beads, then thread in and out of the connector bead on the cuff and repeat the same process all the way around, and I'll show you the last step. Once you've made your way around, you're going to go into the connector bead and come up through the 2 filler beads of like that first 5 bead triangle that you made. Out through the connector, put on 2 filler beads, and then you're going to go across to the other side of the cuff and go through the connector bead. Then 2 filler beads and go across again onto the connector bead of the next 5 bead triangle, and just keep going back and forth all the way around. And once it's all said and done, it should look like this. It just takes a little bit of practice, but as I said before, once you can make this, there's a whole lot of other stuff you can make.